Whales.
Oreos.
Circumcision. This week on the Tim and Josh Show.
It's the Tim and Josh Show, starring Josh and Tim, and it's starting right now.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Tim.
Let's just jump right into it, okay?
All right, let's do it.
You want to do an audio Ad Libs?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Grandpa Tim and his grandson Josh are on a boat fishing and then get swallowed by a whale. All right, you ready? Oh, by the way, I'm Tim and this is Josh. If you're new to the show, we're doing a segment called Audio Ad Libs. You'll catch on. Ready? Let's go.
I love it. Thank you so much, Pop Pop.
Hey, anything for my favorite grandson.
Well, I'm your favorite out of your 10 grandchildren. I'm your favorite.
Well, since the other 9 are women, yes.
Oh my goodness.
You're my favorite grandson. All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Here, let me put that worm on that hook there for you. All right, 1, 2, and whoop. Hoist it out into the sea, and
Dang,
they're
Pop
very
Pop.
nice. Very nice.
That's a really far one.
I know.
That's about a mile away, Pop Pop.
I know. I have an arm. I played football in high school.
Wow. Watch it get Pop Pop. Come on now. Reel it in, Pop Pop. Hold on, let me grab you in. You're about to fall off the boat, Pop Pop. Come on now. Come on now, Pop Pop. What is it? What is it? I kid you not, this is like a bass.
Wait, what? Oh, it's a goldfish.
It's about the size of my pinky. I really thought that this was going to be bigger, you know?
Yeah, that's...
I was really...
Pop Pop, that's like a fish you toddler catches fishing for the first time.
Yeah, I was really thinking we were going to catch a whale there.
A whale?
You hear that? Oh, no.
I just heard you pass gas, that's all I heard, Pop Pop.
Oh, well, yeah, that was right. That I did do that. But, do you hear that?
Oh, yeah, I sure do.
That's the sound of a whale. Paddle, boy, paddle.
Alright, I'm paddling.
Oh, no, he's
Man, I gotta tell you, I didn't play football, so I don't got a arm like you.
We've been swallowed up.
Whoa!
So the next segment is Josh and the news. Do you have any news for me, brother?
You know what the box market is? Or the box office?
I don't.
Okay, the box office. So a movie comes out, right? You'll usually hear this like, this movie hit the top of the box office.
Yeah, okay.
It usually means like this movie did like really, really well. Like this is a most viewed movie in the United States.
Right. Okay, yeah, no, I do know what that is. I didn't think...
Okay.
I was thinking of a literal box office where you just sell office boxes.
Snow White, the movie tanked.
I know, it's great!
It's an absolutely terrible movie, okay? It was in the box office for like 2 weeks. Now, guess what movie came out, TV show / movie?
Chosen.
Guess what TV... Exactly, The Chosen. The Chosen has been in the top of the box office. It like doubled Snow White.
Ooh, dude, that is... I think you mean Snow Woke.
And that The Chosen is the one you guys were in. So The Chosen is doing really, really well.
I
know. And there's another Christian movie coming out called King of Kings. So we'll see how long The Chosen stays on the top. Because Minecraft, the movie just came out, and I've heard mixed reviews about that one, so...
Nobody thought that was going to be good. The Chosen is literally the best thing out there right now.
Minecraft looks terrible.
And you know what else is funny? The Chosen might dominate the box office like 2 more times. Because that's just part 1. You sent me a text.
And
you said, I saw the new Snow White movie.
It was a Saturday... And it was just me. My family left to go to Denver for a little micro vacation. I'm like, well, I could go see a movie. And I'm looking at all the movies, and they all look terrible. The only one that looked good was Snow White. And I took a look at the ticket price, and it was going to be like $10. I bought the ticket. I changed the oil in my car, and I drive there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the movie. And look, it's pretty easy. I'm a soft heart guy, which means... Any movie I watch, I'm gonna cry. I'll pull a few tears. If it's Avengers, if it's La La Land or anything like that, I'm gonna pull a few tears. Shoot, even if it's a cartoon like Looney Tunes,
Don't tell me you cried at this stupid Snow White.
I pulled a few tears.
What are you talking about? It's literally the worst live action remake ever made, and you cried. Grandpa Josh, what's the matter with you? Now I have that mental image burned in my brain of you watching Snow Woke, and you getting like, like that's pretty good, like out in the front seat. You're the only person.
Just teared me up.
You're the only person in the world who is. I said this from day one of knowing you. You appreciate the underappreciated things.
I know. I had to appreciate this underappreciated movie. It's my duty.
When we would go out to eat as a dorm, we would all have these delicious meals, like, oh, the fries, and like, oh, it's so great. You wouldn't comment on any of that. You would comment on the tap water that they gave you. And you would be like, man, this water is so good. And I'm like, well, what about your franchos? So I don't know. Good golly. So give us the review though. Tell us what you actually think of the movie. You cried,
the Snow White review. Okay,
it wasn't good. You know that, right?
The Snow White review with Rachel Ziegler and Gal Gadot.
I think it's Zagler. I don't know.
Is it Zagler? I always said Ziegler.
I thought it was Zegler. Rachel Zegler.
She is a phenomenal actress.
Oh!
Her voice. She's such a great singer. Like, when you watch The Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Snakes, she did a phenomenal job. Has the ability to
but have you seen her interview clips?
Oh, yeah. Her interview clips are terrible. Her opinions are really, really bad, but her acting is really good, and her singing is really, really good. So, when I'm watching the movie, there was that. And then I love movies. So, the beginning of the movie starts...
But you were by yourself. How many other people were in the theater? I'm so sorry.
There was a good amount of people in the theater.
No, there wasn't. There can't be.
So, here's my theory. I pull out the app to purchase my ticket, and I can choose my seat. And just about all the chairs were full. There were only a few options I could pick. And I was like, whoa, this must be a really good movie. And I get there, and none of the seats were full.
Huh?
So I think...
Oh my gosh. They're fake. They made it look like, it's like, wow, the theater is packing.
I think they probably ended up buying a whole bunch of these tickets to try and make Snow White look like it was a really good movie.
They sold, quotation mark, those tickets.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we gotta go see it. It's the hottest thing in town.
Snow White
That's
Gate.
a really cool conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I actually believe that.
I will say that this Snow White is not like the cartoon version of Snow White. It's not like the Brothers Grimm version of Snow White. This is like if Snow White and Robin Hood had a little kid, which I think would be a really cute kid.
Just see, that would have been a more interesting movie.
So that's what it is, I think. Because in the original Snow White, the prince meets Snow White and falls in love with her and all this stuff, right?
Right.
In this version of Snow White, she's Snow White. She catches this guy named Jonathan, who is trying to rob the Wicked Witch, the Wicked Queen. And so he claims to be like a Robin Hood in this situation. So the storyline is not the same. I love the cinematography of movies. Mm-hmm. And so I'm watching the cinematography of the movie. And when it's Snow White with her parents, it's very colorful. It's very vibrant. You're just like, oh man, it's like springtime. I could go out and plant some flowers right now.
Okay. Can I ask a question? I'm so sorry to be so interrupty. I know that I'm doing that. I've heard from people who reviewed the movie that it was a little bit of a communistic society. It's like, oh, we all share. We all don't own anything. We all own everything. And it's just so harmonious. Wouldn't it be better if the whole world was communist? Isn't that kind of... You're not saying no. You're not saying no.
You could interpret it that way. I'd say you would have to really, really, really interpret it that way. I don't think that's the intention.
But let's face it.
The intention of it was that under Snow White, in her parents' rule, that everybody was so vibrant. Like, they were gifted from their harvest with a lot of apples, and they were gifted in their harvest with a lot of wheat, and they could make bread and apple pie and all this stuff, to a point to where they could give it away to their neighbors and their friends. So it's almost like like that positive attitude of like, life was good back then. And then the Wicked Queen comes in, the mom dies, and the Wicked Queen comes in, and then all of a sudden, there's like no color.
Right. But has anything actually bad happened to the citizens, or did somebody just like dim the color of the color grading?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's both. again, like, I love cinematography and I love the storytelling. And right now, what the storyteller was trying to do is point, saying, hey, life was really good with Snow White and her family as ruling. And then it became bad when the Wicked Queen came in, when she was focused all on herself. It was like,
you're sympathizing with this film way too much.
Well, I love watching movies like these.
Why like these?
Well, just the cinematography. I thought that was really good. I thought the movie really highlighted on Snow White's kindness and gentleness.
Doesn't she like... Man, you're just really hurting me so bad that you're defending this terrible, like...
Hey, I'm sorry. I like the
something?
underappreciated things.
You want to know something? You actually did something that made Rachel Zegler unhappy. You know what that was?
Which is?
You watched the movie.
Uh-oh.
Because she told Republicans not to go watch her movie because they're Republicans.
I went to go see the movie. I thought, again, it is not like the original Snow White. It's not like the Brothers Grimm Snow White. It is its own thing.
Was the movie good or was the movie bad? I need to hear your opinion.
It's worth a watch.
Oh man, I'm so disappointed.
It's worth a watch.
Not it's disappointing in you, but
in the cartoon movie, Dopey doesn't talk.
I know, that's his point.
But in this one, he does talk.
Why?
Because he built up the courage to talk.
Stop sympathizing with the film.
He built up the courage.
Didn't they put in that arc and took away Grumpy's arc?
Oh, Grumpy's great. Grumpy was a good actor. Fun fact, the person who played Grumpy was a dwarf.
Wait, what?
The actor who played Grumpy, voiced Grumpy in the Snow White, he was actually a dwarf.
Well, why don't they just have dwarfs acting it instead
with
this dopey CGI
Here's
mess?
what I will say. Out of all the Snow Whites, there's been a lot of Snow Whites. There's Mirror Mirror.
Careful
There's this.
now.
I will say that Rachel Zegler's role as Snow White was not my favorite.
Oh, thank heavens.
My favorite actress who did a really good job of Snow White was in Once Upon a Time.
Dude, I was just about to bring her up.
I love that show.
I was just about to bring her up. I don't think the show holds up, but she is my favorite Snow White. She also plays Judy Hopps.
She's a phenomenal actress.
Oh my gosh.
But again, they did a phenomenal job of showing her kindness and her gentleness. It was great.
I think that Snow White from Once Upon a Time is my favorite Snow White too. Because she's great. And the whole show, the writing isn't great because it's just a soap opera, right? But
it's a soap opera, but look, we Americans love soap operas.
I mean, they are pretty
I'm not
good.
a big fan. I'm not a big fan of like your Hawaii Five-Os and medical stuff. I like your K-dramas and all that stuff. So, with that being said, I would say like if somebody from South Korea was watching like an American soap opera, Once Upon a Time.
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm glad you brought up Korean dramas because Katie and I have been watching a lot of those.
They're recently. So good.
Have you seen Crash Landing on You?
Yes.
Have you seen Startup?
No.
Oh, that's the next one.
Have you seen Extraordinary Inspector Wu?
I don't know if it was Inspector. I think it's Attorney.
Attorney.
I watched the first episode.
I love that one.
Katie forced me to skip the next 2 episodes because they were a little inappropriate with like the wedding dress or something. But
I don't remember that.
But
they're pretty good.
But I didn't want to like we had to skip the episodes 2 and 3. But after that, I was like, well, I'm not interested in seeing this story that I have to skip 2 episodes from. So now we're watching the show called Crash Course in Romance or something. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's on my list.
It's interesting. You want me to spoil it or no? Mm-hmm. It's interesting because it's this like they don't actually teach a class on romance, right?
Okay.
So it's about this math teacher because math is really big there.
Yeah.
And he's like a celebrity math teacher, and he also gets in this like romantic tension of like hating this person.
Ooh.
Like there was this misunderstanding, and so it's one of those classic meet cues where I don't like you at the end. But then later on in the story, because he has an eating disorder.
Oh.
Every time he eats something, he throws up. But then his friend gives him a food from this restaurant, but like it's this one singular mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
And he eats it and he cries. And he was actually able to eat the food. And he was able to sleep. So he's only able to eat the food from this one restaurant. But the owner of that restaurant is the person that he had that bad head bump with. But he has to go there every morning and evening to pick up food. So it's interesting. So that's the premise. I don't know everything. Also, there's a bit of a murder mystery plot in it.
Yeah, I like those murder mysteries. I will say, though, like, I enjoy the old, where it takes place in, like, ancient China or ancient Korea.
Oh, like 100 Days, My Prince?
Yeah, those are good ones. I like those.
Have you seen that one?
Not yet. It's on my list, though.
Okay, well, let's summarize for the viewers. Okay, so we're talking about Korean dramas. They're really good. The ones we talked about and recommend are 100 Days, My Prince. That one's not my favorite, but it's still good. Crash Landing on You.
That one's a good one.
Startup, The Extraordinary Attorney Woo, and Crash Course in Romance one.
They're great. I'll probably watch a few tonight, to be honest.
Me too. I actually have plans to watch some Korean dramas after this. Oh my goodness.
So, man.
You ready for the next segment? How did we get here?
The news.
And what was your news? Oh, Snow White.
Yeah.
And Chosen. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We didn't have to backtrack too much to find that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say, too, the Snow White movie contradicted itself.
Oh, well, then tell us about that. I want to hear some negative things about this movie.
Snow White did this whole song about how she doesn't really need a man and all this stuff.
No.
And then
she sang
all of a sudden, she was about to die from an arrow, and guess who came in and saved her?
A man.
A man.
Oh, good.
And then she eats the apple, right? Snow White.
Uh-huh.
And she falls from this eternal sleep, and guess who comes and saves her?
A man.
A man.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that like she didn't just like self-kiss herself or something. Like what?
Yeah.
What other option was there? It's the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
Her whole point is that she does get saved by a man.
Yeah.
Anyway, but here's a
like
deeper
I said,
question.
it's worth a watch. It is worth a watch.
Here's what I think. I think the Grimm's brother tale is actually a spiritual allegory. I think the prince is Jesus, old hag is the snake, the apple is the forbidden fruit.
Well, you know, it's funny
And
that
then
you mentioned this. Remember our friend Chase Polishevsk?
Yes.
So he just started a podcast where he's reviewing Christian music.
Oh, well, that's very cool.
And so there's this one rapper that he's been kind of surveying called No Big Deal. And Chase was talking about how No Big Deal's album was Eaten Fruit. And so he equivalated it to the same thing you said with Snow White.
Huh. Great minds think alike, I suppose.
Yeah, that's sure right. That's sure true.
Are you ready to go into our next segment?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see here. Small talk. You want to do small talk
right.
and big talk? We haven't done that in a while.
We have not done that in a hot minute.
All right, small talk. What is your favorite version of the Oreo? Double stuffed, single stuffed, or something else?
Oh, man, no. Oreos are nasty. You gotta go with the good old hydroxide cookie.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't like Oreos?
Oh, no, you gotta go. Oreos stole the recipe.
Wait a minute. I didn't know this.
You gotta go with the hydroxide cookies. Take a look.
Wait a minute. So Oreos... Wait, you gotta backtrack. I don't know what you're talking about. Oreos stole their recipe?
Yeah, I'll get there, but just take a look at this. It's called Hydrox cookies.
Okay.
All right, now I might be getting this biscuit lure a little messy, so don't use me for a research paper, okay? But you had what was called Nabisco, right? The National American Sweet Biscuit Independent Company or something like that. Nabisco.
Okay.
Actually, no, Nabisco stood for the National Biscuit Company.
Okay.
Right. These brothers, it was during the Industrial Revolution, and these brothers came in and said, hey, let's make some biscuits, some cookies. And so they created Nabisco. Now, they had a whole bunch of board members, and they were buying, like, the animal crackers and you name it. They were buying a whole bunch of these well-known biscuit companies. And then all of a sudden, the board absolutely hated the two brothers. And so they voted them out.
Oh.
Okay? Now, two brothers ended up creating a different company. Anyways, they created a new company, and they decided that they were going to try and figure something out. So they're trying to figure out these new ingredients, these new biscuits they kind of had the same idea, and all of a sudden, this guy had a brilliant idea of making chocolate cookie with the cream in the center.
Ooh.
And that cookie was called the Hydrox cookie.
Okay.
And the Hydrox cookie was selling so well that Nabisco was freaking out. They're like, oh my goodness, we could go bankrupt because of this. They're making so much money to look at this. And so all of a sudden, Nabisco said, well, we know. And they were trying to figure out the recipe. And they figured it out. And they said, but we don't want to copycat them. We have to include something else. They were really good friends with Mr. Hershey, who created the Hershey bar. And they said, hey, could we use your cocoa powder? And Mr. Hershey said, absolutely. And so they ended up creating the Oreo cookie, which was a copycat recipe from the Hydrox cookie.
Are this Hydrox cookies still made?
They are very rare, but yes, they technically still are made today.
So are Oreos still made with Hershey chocolate?
Yep.
Well, that's really sad.
Yeah.
How did you know about this?
It is my favorite. That's right. The Nabisco brothers actually owned Sunshine Biscuits. And actually, they played a huge role in figuring out packaging for the saltine crackers.
Oh.
Yeah, they were amazing. Nabisco played a huge role in saltine crackers. That's how they started. And then they ended up going with Oreos and all these other biscuits.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
so how did I get into this? History Channel has an amazing series called The History Of. And so they have one called The History of American Food.
okay.
And I want to make sure that I'm right because it's such a good show. The Food That Built America.
I was not expecting to learn all about this with the small talk question. But in terms of my answer, I think the classic is my favorite.
I love the classic.
But
All
you
jokes
just
aside,
said you hate it.
All jokes aside, I love the classic Oreos.
Oh,
I also
man.
love the thin, dark chocolate Oreo.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, that one's good.
Oh man, why did I do
Yeah.
this to myself? And when I'm re-editing this, I'm gonna be craving Oreos the entire time.
Oh man.
Have
Have you ever done an Oreo cake?
I think I have. I think I had
So-
one for a birthday.
My sister showed me this trick. You smash some Oreos, maybe 2 Oreos, and you put it into a mug. And then you put some milk in there, and you stir it up.
Oh.
And then you pop it in the microwave, and you nuke it for about 2 minutes. And then out of it comes an Oreo cake.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna eat the Oreo. I don't want all that microwave
That's
stuff.
a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't want all those microwave radiations in my Oreo and in my food and in my bloodstream. Oh. Okay, wait a minute. You ready for some big talk?
I'm ready.
Do you think we will colonize Mars before Jesus comes back?
Whoa, that's a very interesting question. I believe no.
Why?
I think there's a few things. I guess we could start with the kind of the history side, I guess you could say. I don't think so, and that's primarily because we were created to be on this earth. If you're listening to this right now, I don't know why I didn't do this one in the news, but there were 2 astronauts that were up in space, and they were stranded for about almost a year.
When was this?
It was, I want to say it was like maybe a third of the year. I want to say it was 6 months, 30, 60, 90. Yeah, that sounds about right. 6 months?
But when was this? When did this happen?
This just recently.
How recently?
These astronauts just came back from space last week.
You telling me while we were all living this year, there was 2 astronauts stranded in space? Like
Yeah,
Apollo
they were
13's up
well,
there?
they were in the International Space Station.
Okay, so they weren't stranded.
They weren't stranded. The reason why was Boeing got into space travel, and they sent a spaceship up there. However, there was a few issues with that spaceship. And Boeing was saying, well, it's technically safe for the astronauts. And NASA said, we don't want to risk it. Good move by NASA, in my opinion. So they sent the empty space pod back to Earth. Now, this was with the past administration. Keep in mind, this is an election year when this took place. Elon Musk came to the president and said, hey, or texted or called and whatever, and said, hey, I can bring these astronauts back. And he was denied.
Huh?
He was denied.
Who denied who, though?
The President of the United States denied Elon Musk to bring back the astronauts from the International
Was this Joe
Space Station.
Biden?
Yes.
But why?
Elon Musk was already in support of President Trump.
Well, that seems oddly personal. Why the astronauts?
Yes.
The astronauts didn't do anything harmful.
Yeah, the astronauts didn't do anything wrong. So, all that to say, radiation in space is a lot more than it is here on Earth. These astronauts are technically only allowed to be in space for maybe a month. a month or two,
But-
because the radiation just takes a huge toll on the body.
But
and
who
these
knows?
astronauts were in space for a larger amount of time.
But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Jesus will delay his coming for just long enough for them to have a call. I don't know anybody who would want to move
Yeah.
there.
Here's my next thing on why I think the answer is no. In the 1980s, or was it the 90s? 80s or 90s. This was Star Trek days, right? Everybody
Right.
loves Star Trek. Star Trek's such a great series. It's like Doctor Who. Anyways, this guy had an idea to try and create this biosphere where scientists could live there, and they would only have to rely on the plants and the oxygen that the plants produce, in the water and so forth. All right, so this is called the Biosphere 2. This was in Tucson, Arizona. Okay, now it's all concrete and it's all glass, so there's really no way that oxygen from the outside could get into this area. These astronauts were only relying on the oxygen in the building and the oxygen that the trees were producing.
Okay.
And they found out that it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard for those trees to produce the required amount of oxygen. These scientists were feeling really, really dizzy. I think one guy passed out and cut himself and had to get evacuated for surgery.
Where did all this happen?
Tucson, Arizona. It's called the Biosphere 2. And then
Okay.
people saw that their oxygen levels were dropping. The scientists, because there's a scientist in this experiment, and saw that the levels were dropping. So they ended up forcing oxygen into the building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All that to say, I don't think it's really plausible, primarily because there's just a lot of stuff that's just not really...
But imagine if they did. How do you think the bowls of tribulation would go down if there was also people on Mars?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think so.
Would the Lord send lava? I don't think he's actually. I don't know. I don't know what if the Lord was sending lava on Earth, would he just also send lava on Mars because there were people there? I don't know why people are colonizing Mars when you could just colonize the moon. It's right there.
I mean, again, the main issue is really oxygen,
Right.
X-rays, gravity. There's just a whole lot of variables, and we haven't even really figured out the variable like the Biosphere 2 in Tucson, Arizona.
I think that they should have a moon camp. I think that you should have like cabins on the moon. Rich people can go stay there for a week. You have all these oxygen tubes like for scuba diving, and it's there.
Well, did you know that Willy Wonka actually ended up going into the space onto the moon?
Oh, is that the elevator book?
Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Great Glass Elevator.
How much longer did that book come out after Willy Wonka?
That's a great question. I don't really know.
The story happens almost immediately after Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
But I can't help but feel like Roald Dahl was just kind of like a couple of flops had gone by, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to just write another Willy Wonka book because that really sold a lot. And then he just wrote the elevator.
Almost all of his books sold so well.
Well, he was a good writer.
You can't really think of a bad Roald Dahl book.
I'm not sure I liked the Twits very much. I couldn't finish that one.
That's true. That's a good point.
The Twits weren't that good of a book.
Yeah.
At least I didn't finish it, which says something, because I usually finish the books I start. Anyway, Josh, this was a lot of fun. Could I mention one random thing about my week before we leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
This happened right after recording episode 1, but my son was circumcised.
Wow.
And boy, was it an experience. We had a rabbi do it. And
We had a
rabbi come to the house, and he wanted me to do it.
Did you do it?
No, of course not.
Really?
No, I'm not going to circumcise my own son. That's why he's here.
I would circumcise my own son.
Anyway, and then he also wanted me to hold down his legs. I'm like, okay, well, just hold down his legs while I do this. And
He's a fighter, though, isn't he?
He is a fighter. And I kind of got a little squeezy, and so I had my mother-in-law hold his legs down while I sat on the other end of the table and had my head down and just waited for it to be over. Dude, it was crazy.
Wow.
I just think it's a good thing to get circumcised.
It's cleaner.
Just do it on the 8th day. Well, I actually did it on the 9th day because he was booked. But
He was booked.
we're going to get some emails about that one, I think.
Email.
Like, listen, I didn't circumcise my son. Are you saying my son's not as sanitary?
No, not at all. Your to the mom who's thinking about this, your son is going to be
Is
fine.
that not being circumcised was worth being an insult in David's days. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? So
That's true.
that's what I'm going to say next time that one of my friends tells me that they're not circumcised. I'm like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine?
Wow.
Yeah. Boom. But you know what's more
Roasted.
important? Yeah. But you know what's more important than circumcision?
The blood of Jesus?
I was going to say the circumcision of the heart.
That's
yes.
a good one. That's a good one.
It's not on the outside, kids. It's on the inside that really matters.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Man, I can't believe we talked so much about circumcision. What a fun Christian podcast this is.
Oh, man. This is
I
great.
really just offended every non-circumcised person. There's so many people who aren't circumcising their kids nowadays.
Really?
Yeah, like I have had female friends who work at daycares, and like half the kids aren't circumcised.
I was figuring out where you're going from there. Okay, yes.
But half the kids aren't circumcised these days.
Yeah.
What
well,
the heck?
remember, what was that story in the there in the New Testament? There's a saint who wasn't circumcised. Am I wrong?
What did they actually mean, uncircumcised, or did they mean not a Jew?
No, they meant uncircumcised.
Oh man.
Saint Paul was against it.
Saint Paul was against circumcision?
Yeah.
Oh, that's out of context, I think. Oh, I think you mean
Well,
like
Paul-
in terms of like
Paul was referring it to, because remember, you had believers who would not eat.
yes, but he's not anti-circumcision. That's
No, he's not anti-circumcision, but that was kind of what he's implying here, of saying, hey, look, if you're a believer and you're circumcised, that's great. If you're a believer and you're uncircumcised, that's great. Like, we're brothers together. It's not what happened, whether we're circumcised or uncircumcised.
right.
It's us deciding Christ being our Savior. And I was like, I like this guy Paul right here.
But also, with that being said, I plan to have all my kids circumcised.
Did you keep the knife?
No, we threw it away.
You threw the knife away?
Well, why? What am I going to do? Have it bronze?
Well, I knew somebody who was 18, became 18 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And for his 18th birthday, his parents came and said, hey son, this is for you. And they gave him a knife, and he goes, what the heck is this? And his parents said, this was the knife that we used to circumcise you. And at first you're like, that's a little weird. And then you're kind of like, oh, that's really sweet. He could use the knife to circumcise his future son.
Okay, not the same knife, please. All right, see, that could go south really fast. Well, we've always done it with this knife ever since this generation, but it's becoming less effective every time. After every generation. Just get a new knife, all right?
Just get a new knife.
This is too important to... I am all for sentiment, but that's taking it too far. Anyway,
Man.
I'm pretty sure we had a few people turn off our show because of our circumcision talk. But it needed to happen.
It needed to happen.
We needed to talk
We should
about
have
the
a new
circumcision.
We should have a new segment of Tim's journey as a dad.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a new segment specifically for circumcision. All right, now it's time for the change.
No.
Now it's time for our
Tim's
weekly
random
talk
fact
about...
about circumcision.
Okay. That caught me off guard. There's not enough facts for me to make that consistent. Did you know that in Judges, the word circumcision is used X amount of times?
Wow. Good
In the
to
book
know.
of Joshua, somebody gets circumcised for a second time. That actually happens in the book of Joshua. They mention they got... How do you... Never mind. I don't want to know how you get circumcised the second time.
That's
Anyway.
usually, that's one of my favorite Bible stories of when the Israelites were there, right? And
Yeah.
you have the enemies who are coming, and they're like, man, we really... Or the neighbors, and they were kind of like enemies. And they're like, man, we really, really like your women. They're your sisters. They're good looking. Can we date them? And then the Israelites...
They were not wanting to date them.
Or
Can I
it
take
was
them out to a
something-
cup of coffee? A cup of
Yeah,
water
it was
by the
something
well?
like that.
No, it was
I
they
know
wanted
I'm
to get
bringing
married. They wanted to get
I
married.
know I'm bringing it out of context.
Okay.
And the Israelites, the brothers, said, well, you have to get circumcised. And they were willing to get circumcised, and then they circumcised, and they were in so much pain that the Israelites came in and they just slaughtered them.
Yeah, I know. They just wanted to go out, get married, but Israel was playing 4-dimensional chess and just killed them.
Yeah,
Dude.
well, and these were like some evil people too.
You know, that makes me feel better about it. At first, I was kind of like, these poor little kids, you know? Not poor kids. They weren't kids.
No, they were adults.
This was not an Anakin situation. Master Skywalker, we need to be circumcised. What are we to do? Josh, this was a lot of fun.
It sure was.
I'm glad we're ending on a high note. Until next time, I'm Tim.
And I'm Josh.
And this has been the Tim and Josh Show. Yes. Bye.
Whale, Oreos, circumcision.
That sounds good enough to me. That should be just already. We should just do that. That should be whales, Oreos, circumcision this week on the Tim and Josh Show. Can we do that?
I like it. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.